What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Here's the scenario for today's video. You're a guitar player at home. You're mainly a bedroom player, as they say. You know how to play solos. You know some chordal knowledge. You know some songs, some basic harmony, and that's pretty much it. If you were to go to a jam and someone says, let's solo in the key of D, you're kind of lost because you're mainly A or G type player. Today's video is for you. We're going to take a look at 3 topics that I preach on this channel that are extremely fundamental, that when practiced and understood really well will take your guitar playing and fretboard knowledge to the next level. So with all that being said, let's dive into today's video. Oh, by the way, check out this super cool guitar that Fender sent over. Paranormal series Telecaster by Squier. Super cool. All I've done to it is lower the action and put my strings on there, 11 gauge. But it has the Jazzmaster neck pickup, Telecaster bridge pickup. Volume is push-pull for series parallel. And the tone control is push-pull for out of phase. So if you're in the middle position, check this out. You can do like your kind of Peter Green impression. It's so cool. All right, back to the lesson. So, where do we start? What are easy steps we can take to improve our fretboard knowledge? If we start from the very beginning, the most simple is getting a better grip of the notes on your fingerboard. A lot of people think they know it, but you know that 30-second to 1 minute time it takes to think about what note you're playing kind of shows you don't know it, if that makes sense. And this is something you can practice when you watch YouTube videos for 5 minutes. You can do it mentally, think of what is the 3rd fret of the A string note. It's a C, right? You can practice in the most fundamental way, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, right? You can practice, by frets. For example, G, C, F, B flat, D, G. You can do octaves. Etc. But you really want to improve understanding your notes on the fingerboard. A lot of people think they do, but if you play them this note and say, what note is this? It's a G sharp / A flat. It might take them time. You really want to be confident. This note, C, F, D sharp, E flat, From understanding your notes on the fingerboard, understanding how chords are made really help. And that brings us to understanding triads. The reality is, a lot of us know our triads, but we may not understand how they work, or we might understand how we're playing them. And I see a lot of people are on the right track. That's the reality. Here's a C, here's a C, here's a C, here's a C. What about here? here. You know? And that's where the triad practice comes. Triads are 3-note chords comprised of root, third, and fifth. So from the key of C, go up the scale. Root, third, fifth, root. C, E, G. A minor triad is root, flat third, fifth, right? A augmented triad is root, third, sharp 5. A diminished triad is root, flat 3, flat 5. You know? The second part of that is understanding what notes they are. C, E, G, C, E flat, G, C, E, G sharp for augmented, C, E flat, G flat for diminished. Those 4 in the very beginning stages of your triad, I guess, workout may be a lot, but focus on major and minor, right? So if we check this out, C major, root position, C, E, G. Our neck shape is first inversion, E, G, C, and then second inversion, G, C, E. And repeats. And you would practice those triads on each string set. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and 4, 5, 6. You know, and you can also practice up and down. Also, to integrate the other triads, minor, augmented, and diminished, start off with your major triad. Identify the third. Here's our minor, we flattened it. Come back to major for augmented, sharp 5. Right? And then come back to major, and then diminished, root, flat 3, flat 5. And do that in every position, right? The whole fingerboard will open up for your chords. On top of that, I know this is a lot, but this is a lot of fundamentals, trust me, is applying the diatonic chord to the key that you're in. So in major, we have 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 diminished, back to root. Take those chords and apply them on each string set. And we'll do this, let's say, in root position. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. Up and down, you know? When you feel comfortable with that and you understand the individual notes for each chords, then the fun begins where you can say to yourself, let's do all that, but with less movement, right? So for example, C, D, E, and so on and so forth. So far, we've covered understanding the notes on your fingerboard, triads, how they're made, major, minor, diminished, and augmented, and how to practice them. And the ultimate goal is to see any chord really anywhere in the fingerboard and be confident about it. The final key to unlocking the fingerboard, which just like the triads, you probably already know, but we want to make that knowledge even more solidified, more confident, right? Is the caged system. A lot of us, I think, know what it is, but only know a few shapes. Right? But again, to open up the fingerboard, take time to learn every shape in the caged, and you'll open up the fingerboard in the most fundamental way possible by major scale, right? So if we take it from the top, you know, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There's our C shape. Our A shape now. Just one octave. G shape. E shape. D shape. And then finally, our octave C shape. And by doing that, practicing, you know, you can make challenges for yourself. Let's go from here all the way to here. Right? Wow. So cool, no? That's all caged. And there I'm just combining shapes, and look how much fingerboard I can cover. All by caged. So practice caged. And the fun thing, you know, and I teach this in Zoom lessons, is take these shapes and then modify them for, you know, minor scale and then modes as well. If you're like me, a big fan of the Grateful Dead music, you will know that Mixolydian scale is very common. So practice your cage shapes in major and do that same thing in Mixolydian, right? And you'll have a result like that. Where again, you have total fretboard freedom in major, Mixolydian, minor. You can do the same thing with major and minor pentatonic, and it's all derived from the caged system. So that was a lot. I'm seeing here on my camera, it's 12 minutes, 40 seconds, 41 seconds, etc. These are really the building blocks. If you have a really good understanding of your notes, triads, how they're made, what notes make up the triads, your caged system, major, minor, pentatonics, both major and minor, and also, you know, some modes, if that's your thing, you can cover the whole fingerboard with just scale patterns. And like Robin Ford says in his TPS episode, there is nothing wrong with just playing the scale in a solo. Nothing. So practice, take your time, This will all come slowly. You will have a eureka moment, and when you do, keep going, and the whole guitar opens up for you. Well, all right, guys, that is today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.